Hello, my name is Chef Joe Rigo. I am a chop champion from season 12, episode 7. The episode is called Orzo et Seemed, and I'm here today in this beautiful kitchen, dinner for two, preparing a delicious pork chop meal. Right now there's a lot of citrus going on, going into March, kind of getting rid of the winter and going into our beautiful springtime. So a lot of citrus is very abundant during springtime. So today I'm going to create a recipe that is a herb crusted center cut pork chop. And obviously you kind of have you want to have a pork chop that's got beautiful marbling just like this one. I'm going to be crusting it with some fresh herbs, a little bit of kosher salt, and then I'm also going to prepare a beautiful fennel and tangerine au gratin, and then we're going to top off that pork chop with a wonderful Meyer lemon and jalapeno jam. So are you ready? Let's do this. And basically the fennel, when you purchase it, it comes with the stalks on top like this, but you really don't want to use these stalks right here because they're very stringy, but you can also use the leaves for a beautiful garnish. So we're going to leave these stalks right here in this bowl. We're going to take the fennel and chop it right down the middle. As you can see, the fennel, it's got the core right here, and this core we're going to discard because it is sort of hard and you do not want to prepare that. But I'll tell you what, the core is actually delicious if you dip it in olive oil, salt, and pepper, and it's a very healthy snack. And I'm gonna basically take it to a medium to high heat, okay? And the good thing about this cookware is that I'm absolutely going to use for the au gratin a very minimal amount of oil, because this is a wonderful cookware that is greaseless and waterless. Can you believe that? So I'm going to take, as that heating up, I'm going to take the fennel and chop it about 1/4 inch julienne. We don't want obviously big chunks because that could affect the recipe. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of this beautiful extra virgin olive oil. And as the oil is sizzling in the pan, I got the right amount of heat. I'm going to take that fennel and pour it right in there. I hear it sizzling, and that's a good thing, of course. Okay, just like so. Okay, beautiful. Now, we're going to take yellow onion and do the same kind of cut. 1/4 inch julienne or 1/2 inch julienne, doesn't matter. We want to give it a little bit of that onion flavor into the dish. Okay, my onions go right in there. I'll take the chopped garlic into the pan, give it a little swirl. Okay, I got all of my ingredients in here, and I'm going to cover it, and we're going to let it cook for about 15 minutes, and when it starts to whistle, I will shut the valve off and continue to cook. We're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream into the au gratin. Okay, give it a little stir. And I'm just gonna check for the right seasoning and make sure that all the flavors are there. That's good, really good. So we're going to take the tangerine segments and place them all the way around. What's going to happen is that, you know, the fennel has got a little bit of anise flavor, and the tangerines is just going to bring that little bit of sweetness that it needs. I'm going to take some wonderful Parmesan Reggiano and grate it over the top. Cheese is definitely going to be the key flavor into the au gratin, and of course, you have to call it au gratin. If it doesn't have cheese, it's not called an au gratin. Right there. And now it's ready to go underneath the broiler for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Wow, that's all I can say. Beautiful caramelization on this fennel au gratin with tangerines and Parmesan Reggiano. I can't wait to eat it, honestly. Okay, so we're getting started to do our jalapeno and Meyer lemon jam. We're going to take the Meyer lemons, and you want to take obviously the skin and the pith and kind of run through the knife, and if there's any seeds on them, obviously you want to take those off because those will not cook down. So you basically want to take them and chop them in half and then again in half. So we're going to turn the heat once again to medium high. I'm going to take our juice and our Meyer lemons that are cut, rough chop, right into the cookware. We'll take our jalapeno. We'll scoop the seeds out because we don't want to burn anybody. We'll take the jalapeno and julienne it about 1/4 inch. Then you want to give it a nice fine dice so it cooks evenly with the Meyer lemons. We'll take the jalapenos, put it right into the pan. Okay. I'll swish it around a little bit. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of the zest. Of 1 Meyer lemon, and that should be about enough. You'll take it, kind of tap it on there so all the zest comes out, just so. Going to take a little bit of red wine vinegar, a couple of tablespoons, just to give it a little different acidity to the jam. And we're going to add 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. Great. Want to mix that. We're going to let it come to a boil for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to reduce the heat to medium low and cover it up, and we'll just let it dance all in there, okay? Okay, so I got my jam cooking inside the cookware. Want to make sure that the valve is shut so it cooks properly in the cookware. It's been cooking for about 12 minutes, and it's about that right consistency. As you can see, it's got that wonderful consistency that's thick, just like a jam would be. So we're going to shut the lid once again and let it cook for an additional couple of minutes, and that should be the right consistency in about a couple of minutes, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to cook our wonderful pork chops, center cut, like I said, beautiful marbling, ready to go into the saute pan. So I'm going to move my jam over to the side, and I'm going to put my saute pan to medium high heat. This time I am not going to use any sort of oil because, as you know, pork chops got their own little bit of fat on there. So the natural grease from pork chop will go into the saute pan, and obviously we want a nice sear on a pork chop. So I'm going to take the kosher salt first and sprinkle about a teaspoon on each of the pork chops, just like this. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. about a teaspoon on top and on this side as well. I'm going to take both of my fresh herbs, rosemary and fresh thyme, combine them together. Just give it a little swirl with your finger in there. Incorporate those herbs together. And I'm going to take about a teaspoon again of that herb mix. Smells so good. I'm going to take one more on this side. I'm going to flip it around and do the same on this side. Gorgeous. I'm going to pat it down with my hand to make sure that all the herbs are on a pork chop, just like this, okay? So just as we see, we're gonna pour just a little bit of water, and if the water evaporates, that means it's not quite hot enough. But if you see a little bit of water and that water just dancing in the pan, we're good to go. Let's see. See, the water's dancing, dancing, dancing. It's got some groove in there, look at that. It's not evaporating, can you believe that? We're ready to go. Take the pork chop, and when you put it on there, you kind of want to press into the pan to make sure that it's nice and flat on a saute pan. I'm going to take the other one, just like that. No grease at all, just the natural fats from the pork. We're going to take the saute pan and get the cover. We're going to put the cover on top, and you want to leave just a little small space so it sears properly in the saute pan, okay? And we're going to sear that for about 5 to 6 minutes. You can always do it a little bit more to 7 minutes if you want a pork chop well done. I like mine medium because I really don't want a tough piece of meat, so medium is the desired temperature for the pork chop. So you want to tilt the lid on the skillet so all the oxygen are kind of dancing in there, so you have a nice caramelization on the pork chop. And I'm going to show you how beautiful the pork chop really is. And remember, no oil. Look at that beautiful brown pork chop that's been seared with no oil. Isn't that incredible? I'm going to show you the other one. Look at that. Now that's magic, isn't it? We're going to sear on this side for an additional 5 minutes to 6 minutes, depending how well you like your pork chops to be. And once again, you want to make sure that they are touching the pan so they get a perfect sear. And once again, I'm going to put the lid and tilt it and leave just about, I would say about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch space on the pan so all the circulation of oxygen gets in there and everybody's happy in the pan. Okay, so the pork chops are done. I'm going to place the lid on the side and I'm going to assemble the dish for you. I'm going to take the gratin. Take it, just like that. Make sure it's got enough tangerines on top to offset the anise flavor of the fennel. Okay, just like that. I'm going to take these thin chopped chives and add a little bit on top. I'm going to take my pork chop, beautiful sear, kind of offset it on top, just like that. Then I'm going to take my jalapeno and Meyer lemon jam. I'm going to put a little bit on top, just like that. And we'll do a little bit on the side too. Okay. And we're going to take a frond of the fennel that we cut and place that as a garnish. right on top. And the pork chop dinner is complete. Dinner for two by Kitchen Charm.